Okay, welcome to this next lesson. By now you should have mastered being able to insert internal walls in the correct position. Let's have a look at what I've got going on here, if I get to work. And we can see here we've got the internal walls correctly positioned. We can always check that. I'm going to go to my floor plan, use my measure tool, wait for the snap to come up, and then move it along. 3600 was that distance there. So yeah, my wall's in the correct position. Okay, so next thing to do is to insert the internal ceiling. Now there's no actual tool for ceiling, but what we do, we actually use the slab tool and we make that like an elevated slab to make it into a ceiling. So this ceiling is actually made from plasterboard. Is information about the ceiling here? I don't think there is. Slab, walls, roof, joinery. No, it doesn't actually tell us. Oh, here we go here. Internal sheeting, 10mm gyprock to walls, or plasterboard is another name for gyprock, and 10mm gyprock to the ceiling. 6mm villa board to wet areas, that's in the bathroom and so on. So this 10mm gyprock is what we'll then apply to the ceiling. So what we'll do, we'll take a note here that our ceiling height is 2400. So we know that the top of our ceiling is 2400. And if it's 10mm thickness, that means it's going to drop down just by that 10mm. So let's go to Archicad. Let's go into the slab tool like we have done in the past. Open up the slab settings. This time we're going to make sure that the slab thickness is not 100 but it's 10mm. And you'll notice I've already changed this one, that the height that the top of that slab is above the current story is going to be 2400mm. So that's saying from the current story to the top of the ceiling is 2400mm. We want the material not to be structural concrete. We'll change that to plasterboard. So let's see if we can go down and find plasterboard. There it is there, plasterboard ceiling. And we don't need to change anything else there or there, but we will change the surfaces to be not timber, but they need to be plasterboard as well. So once again, let's go find plasterboard. I'm going to go for white fine. The finer the finish, the less imperfections we should see. And click on your chain there to make the top surface, the edge, and the bottom surface of the ceiling slab, so to speak, all the same color. I'm only really going to see the bottom surface there. Last thing to check is the layer that's put on, and you can see here that it's on slab generals at the moment. We want to change that from slab general to slab ceiling. So we scroll up or down a few. There it is there, slab ceiling. And click on the OK. I'm going to use the magic wand to insert this ceiling. So what I'm going to do is to press the space bar. You see the magic wand comes on. Move the magic wand to the internal edge of the wall there and click once. Nothing seems to have happened. Just go to 3D view and we then should be able to see the ceiling has now been inserted. At this point we'll also have a look at what these sectional markers do. So I just want to go back to my floor plan, zoom out a little bit, and these blue markers I've referred to vaguely before, they're currently in position to give us sections and elevations. This one here, DRGID, should be a label for it over here. Oh, there's no such label, but if we just double click onto one or two of these sections here, what it will do will actually cut through our building and will then give us a sectional view. Well, it wasn't that one, must be the other one, section 2. Okay, here we are here. And you can see it's actually cut through, and we can see our cut fill for our concrete slab, our cut fill for our structural walls, our different cut fill for the internal walls, and then you can see our ceiling has gone on the inside of these walls here. Not going through it, not going to the outside, but to the inside, which is correct as well, finishing off at 2400. Okay, so let's go back to our ground floor view. Oops, hit the close button, don't want to do that. And you've probably done this before, but as soon as you insert something, always make sure you save your work. Hit on the save button. And the ceiling's in, the layer's been done. That will do for ceilings, so we'll move on to the next one.